All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another MLB The Show 26 stream here on Twitch. I'm NextJGChan24, and today we're going to be grinding out the Salvador Perez uh, Cornerstone program. So if you guys don't recall from Friday, this was part of the new Cornerstone program that they released with the drop of the third inning XP reward path. So highlighting obviously the catcher, the longtime catcher for the Kansas City Royals, Salvador Perez. Someone that I definitely have a lot of respect for. I mean, obviously, I like the kind of guys that hit for power, and Salvador Perez does do that. But it's more than just that. I also respect the fact that he's a fundamental catcher as well. And I also respect the fact that he's been with Kansas City his entire career, if not for most of his career. And that's very rare to see in baseball these days. I mean, especially with the players getting the big contracts and everything. I mean, Salvador Perez could have literally gone anywhere he wanted, and yet he stuck with the Royals. I know he won the World Series with them in 2015, but that is a lot of loyalty there. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to go down as a great Royal. If he's not inducted into the team's Hall of Fame, I don't know if he'll get into Cooperstown, but if he isn't inducted in the team's Hall of Fame, I mean, people really have to ask what is going on with the Royals. Why would you not want to put this guy in your team Hall of Fame? This is a guy who literally spent a majority, if not all his career with your team. All right, that's insane loyalty right there. So just looking at him, obviously a great hitter, a great fielder as well. As I mentioned, he's got 86 fielding ability, 85 pop-up time. The blocking is a little low, but it's still good. I'm currently blocking the arm accuracy, but that's in the green, so we know it's above an 80, which is nice. Arm strength, that's probably in the 70s, but that's still okay. That's still workable, honestly. So, just looking at his quirks really quick here. He's got homebody, night player, first pitch hitter. I like the first pitch hitter. Dead red, fighter, pinch hitters. But, he'd probably start for me. So, yeah, that's Salvador Perez for you. And as you can see, I already got a bit of a head start because I made progress in the missions. I mean, it wasn't really hard to do that. I just had to play. I just had to play and get some parallel XP with uh with any player, honestly, any hitter. And as long as I did that, I was completing this mission. What's a little bit harder is now I need 13 hits with any catcher or first baseman, and that's a little bit harder. You can see I'm already more than halfway there at 7, but still takes a while. And then, of course, we have all the missions here, or the moments, starting with his 2011 debut. Also winning MVP in the World Series in 2015. Multiple Silver Slugger and Gold Glove winner. 48 home runs in 2021, making it at that time, it was the most home runs hit by a catcher in a season. That is until Cal Raleigh beat that record last year. And then, of course, just paying tribute to the fact that he's a cornerstone for Kansas City. So, we say we hop in right here, get into the moments, and let's start this grind. Excuse me. All right, so it looks like he made his debut against the Tampa Bay Rays in 2011. So all they're asking for is a hit here. And um, I'll just talk about my Mets because I think this needs to be addressed. I'm going to say this right now. This is not a team that's going to win the World Series. I don't care if they get Francisco Lindor back. This is a team that is not winning the World Series. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know if they're going to make the. I don't even think they're making the playoffs. This is absolutely pitiful, and it ultimately boils down to offense. Okay, the pitching has been fine. You know, obviously, aside from David Peterson and Kodai Senga, it's been fine. Nolan McLean has looked good. Clay Holmes, surprised he's coming around. Um, there's another pitcher though. Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean. Why am I blanking on the third guy? And even some of the relievers have not been bad for the Mets. Huascar Brazaban, he's been fantastic. Brooks Raley has been fantastic. You know, if Luke Weaver and Devin Williams could be used more frequently, maybe they can put it together. But they looked good for a while. But I mean, Sean Manaea, David Peterson, and Kodai Senga just. Oh, the other pitcher is Christian Scott. I mean, to be fair, he just got called up, so I don't think it's fair to criticize him. Tobias Myers, I mean, he can't go more than 2 innings. He can't. I know they want him for a long reliever, but I guess long reliever these days means going 2 innings. Because you can't even get you can't get more than one out of normal relief pitchers, which is a shame because that used to happen all the time when I was growing up. Like some relievers would go out there for 2 innings. Either because the manager was trying to save the bullpen or they were trying to, you know, or the reliever was actually pitching really well. But these days, 2 innings, that's what you consider a long reliever. And I don't think that's right. But it's not, it's really the batting that's the issue for the Mets. I mean, I feel like if this team doesn't hit a home run, they're not winning. And even when they do hit a home run, it's not a guarantee. But I mean, I think that boils down to the biggest problem the Mets have, which is they have no power. I mean, they had power. They did, but they traded that away. And now they've got this contact-heavy team where your power is Juan Soto and, maybe Francisco Lindor. But at this pace, he's probably not going to hit another 30-30 season, especially considering that we don't even have a timetable for when he's coming back. I don't know when he's coming back. Bo Bichette has never hit more than 20 home runs, or he's never hit more than, 30? There's no. Hold on one second. Bo Bichette is clearly not a power hitter. I don't want to say something wrong, so let's see. Bo Bichette. Has he ever hit? Yeah, the closest he ever got to 30 home runs was in 2021. Aside from that, he's only hit more than 20 home runs 3 times in his career, and that was 2021, 2022, and 2023. He is not a power bat. So forget him. Forget Jorge Polanco. He's never been a power bat. And Francisco Alvarez, you would hope he's a power bat. You would also hope that Mark Vientos is a power bat. But they haven't shown up either. Or at least not the way that you would hope. So when your only choice is to rely on Lindor and Soto, two guys who have been hurt this year, I'm sorry, you put yourself in a very bad position. I get that Pete Alonso and David Stern's eye may not have been the best fielder, but at least he could consistently give you 30, 40 home runs a season. And you need that power. Because if you're not going to pitch to Juan Soto, which I think teams would be absolutely foolish to do that right now, then what do you have? Oh, Robert's injured. Luis Robert Jr. is injured. So if the expectation that he was going to be the power bat, well, that's out the window. I get it. Okay? When Stearns built this team, he wanted to rely more on putting the ball in play. And that's fine. But understand that if you're not producing runs that way, then you got a real problem because you don't have a power bat. It's not Nimmo. It's not Alonso. I mean, it's not Jeff McNeil. Even though McNeil wasn't really a power bat, at least he could deliver you some home runs. But now you don't have that. And what do you have? You have a bunch of guys who are trying to put the ball in play, but they can't. So, in my eyes, I mean, even if you look at the 2015 Royals, okay, they weren't the flashiest, but they did have they did have power. Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer could hit it from time to time, but that was enough. They were fundamental, but they also had power when they needed it. And by God, did they get it. I'm just saying that without power, this team is not going anywhere. And as it stands right now, they're the only team that is projected to lose over 100 games this year. And now we're talking about trading away Freddie Peralta by June 1st. Oh, that was the other pitcher I was forgetting. Freddie Peralta. So think of that. You made a trade. You traded two of your prospects in Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams to the Brewers for Freddie Peralta. And now you're talking about trading Freddie mid-season. The funny thing is, he ain't even the guy that's costing you the most. Excuse me. Yeah, he's getting paid a lot of money, but you signed Bo Bichette, giving him $42 million a year. For what? He's got a negative .5 WAR right now. You gave millions to Jorge Polanco, and he's hurt. You traded away your speed guy in Luis Angel Acuna for Luis Robert Jr., and he's out. I mean, right now you have Austin Slater and MJ Melendez as your middle of the order hitters, depending on which pitcher is throwing. I mean, injuries are such a big thing, especially when you don't have when you lose guys like Francisco Lindor, like Juan Soto, like Luis Robert Jr., like Jorge Polanco. You lose those guys, and now you're playing lineup Jenga, basically. You're acting like this is spring training. Somebody actually said that the Mets are essentially just putting a lineup there that you would put out there for spring training. And I wholeheartedly agree. I get the injuries, but this is also a lack or a fault on David Stern's part for not building depth. Not having guys in place that could take over who are MLB ready, and just thinking that all the guys that he signed were going to play 162 games. You might have one or two players who do that every year. But you don't have that in 9 players. You don't. It's baseball. So, and because of that, the Mets are where they are. Talking about trading away Freddie Peralta. The most expensive payroll, or one of the most expensive payrolls in Major League Baseball, and they're projected to lose 100 games. I've only seen this once before, and that was 2023, where the Mets went out, they got Verlander to pair him with Scherzer. It was supposed to be great. They got a lot of money. And then Verlander and Scherzer ended up being traded before the trade deadline. And the Mets went into full rebuild. Oh, yeah, and we have Andy Andy Ibanez. Maybe there's a reason why the Tigers gave up on him. I don't know if this is like Stearns thinking, oh, maybe we can unlock something that they couldn't. Stearns, I think if someone gives up on a player, or if some team gives up on a player, especially a team that's been competitive for the last few years, I think that's a telling sign that maybe that player is not that good. Just a thought, but that is my thought. Same thing with Austin Slater. Maybe there's a reason why so many teams gave up on him. Because he only hits lefties. And is that what we're going to do? We're going to just platoon everyone? We're going to platoon everyone and fit to the opposite-handed pitcher? That's not good. That's inconsistency. How are guys like Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos and Francisco Alvarez supposed to? Well, not that. Alvarez is a special case. Actually, he's not a special case. He does get at bats against both righties and lefties, but Vientos and Beatty are the best example. Heck, even Slater and Melendez. Well, Slater is beyond developing. MJ Melendez, he's not that old. He could still surprise a lot of people. He certainly surprised the Mets enough to be able to be called up. But the biggest example is Beatty and Vientos. These guys are on the last years of their contract. Well, no, not their last years. But it's clear now that they're probably going to be trade bait. And you should be trying to get the most out of them. You should. But you're not going to get the most out of them if you just platoon them. Certainly hasn't done them any favors development-wise. But if teams only see what they can do against the opposite-handed pitcher, then their value as players go down. So I really do hope that the Mets, realize this and come to their senses. But I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But either way, this is not a team that's winning the World Series. Heck, this isn't even a team that right now wouldn't even make the playoffs. And the sad part is they have a record that's capable enough of winning the first overall pick in the MLB draft. But the problem is their payroll has them spending like they're trying to win a World Series. And the problem with that is that if you go over the luxury tax, then you lose 10 spots from what your position would have been. And for the Mets, that puts them outside of the top 10. Even if they were to get the number 1 overall pick, they would lose 10 spots, so they would pick 11th. That's not good. That's why I said they need to shed some payroll. If they're going for the first overall pick, then they need to shed payroll. All right? But trading Peralta, I don't think it's going to help shed that payroll. Trading Bo Bichette might help that. And considering that he could opt out, why not send him to a contending team if he's going to be that if he's going to opt out? Why not? And then if you want to trade Vientos or trade Beatty, that's fine. Trade them. The reality is that they're not getting rid of Lindor. They're not getting rid of Soto. That much is clear. Those contracts are way too big for them to even get rid of. Let's see, what am I doing here? I guess we'll do Cityscapes again because I need to get some. I need to get another Cityscapes pack. I mean, I could throw Seager in there. Hold on. Gonna make some changes here. And then we'll put Seager in here. Why not, Obviously, we don't have a catcher here yet, so we're going to keep running. Well, Raynell is not going to, he's not going to catch. Or he would catch, but he's not going to bat because I'm just going to sub him out, put in either Kinsler, Martinez, or Edmonds, and then just sub in Shea Langolier. Let's see. Seager needs needs to be higher up. There we go. That should be enough, right? Yeah, that'll be good enough. All right. Oh wait, hold on. What was the that's what I thought. We need Clay Buckles. Do not have anyone from I do not have anyone else who is Cityscapes. Still have Franco and Raleigh Fingers. Okay, I think we're good now. So I don't know what the answer for the Mets is, but I need to figure something out. If tanking is exactly what they're going to do, well, then they need to start making some moves. But if they're trying to win, they better add a power bat because right now they don't have that. I guess we'll just wait and see. Wait and see what happens with the Mets. Unfortunately, they have a very tough homestand coming up. They've got the Tigers coming into town, and then they also have the Yankees. Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down. Verlander can still get it done for me. How about Patrick Bailey being traded from the Giants? How about that? Man hits a walk-off inside the park home run last year for them, and they give up on him. I get that he was not going to be the next. Why am I blanking on the catcher's name? But he wasn't going to be the next Buster Posey. That much was clear. But he was still a decent catcher. I mean, I could name far worse catchers than him. Yeah, no, I'm not going here. Yeah, it doesn't. I noticed that. You basically have to watch. Yeah, I've noticed that several times. Like, for some reason, they like to keep it a secret or not tell you until you get to your lineup screen before you load into a game. And then it's like, oh, well, why didn't you tell me before? I would have taken them out. But I totally understand that. They'll tell you when you get P1, 2, 3, or even 4. But when you get Superfractor, no. You only find out if you're paying attention. Well, I mean, you could have backed out of Diamond Quest. Or not backed out. Yeah, you could have saved it, backed out, and then gone back into it, and then just subbed out Wit. After the game, of course. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that happens with mini seasons. You know, you see the player, you got to play the game, but at least in mini seasons, you can go into manage squad and take out uh, the batter. Well, maybe you could use the latest version of Bobby Witt, or is that the one that you superfractored? Because I think shortstop is a position where you need to get as much speed as possible. It's the most common position you're going to see speed. So, well, I still like the live series version of Ellie better than his monthly awards one. Strike three, sit down. But that is my opinion, as I have stated that multiple times. So he won't give you the speed. At least that lightning or that lightning version of Ellie won't give you the speed that you could get with his live series card. We got him. Woo! That was a little bit closer than I would have liked. But Michael Bush with the home run. Justin Verlander not giving up any runs at all. Oh, wait. I got to back out. And that is why. Tomorrow we should get a new multiplayer program, so hopefully I can get this program done, and then I can just excuse me, and then I could just focus on the multiplayer. Or I'm sorry, get Salvador Perez's program done, and then tomorrow I could focus on the new multiplayer program. Oh, no! I don't want to do classic. I wanted that. Okay, so wait, are you already in a game? Mm. Okay, you're gonna have to play that game then. But as soon as you're done with that game, back out. Save the Diamond Quest, back out, and then go back in. But before you advance, make sure you change your lineup. Strike three, sit down. Strike three, sit down. Oh, hold on. Sorry, that was my sister feeding my nephew, her son. So, sorry. I just wanted to look at it. Michael Young with the home run. Ow. Need to try and get some hits here with Richie Sexson and Michael Bush. You know, those guys are the ones that are going to help me complete Perez's program. And that certainly helps right there, the home run by Richie Sexson. Let's see if there's anything on social media worth talking about.
Nope, that's off the plate. Ball two.
Let's see. We're going to take Mr. Yeah, we're going to take out Buckholes, bring in Zerpa. Strike three, sit down.
Ball inside.
Wow, okay, we're doing secondary positions. Wait, Jimmy Rollins has center field as a secondary position? Or are you in like a showdown where it doesn't really matter? Strike 3, sit down. Perfect. There, street. Oh, there was one comment, or there was a something that I don't know who reported it, but someone mentioned got more in depth about the the contract negotiations between David Stern, Steve Cohen, and the Mets, and Pete Alonso. And Pete Alonso ultimately made the comment that while his Hall of Fame or his resume is being considered for the Hall of Fame, Stearns is still going to be fumbling his analytics approach. Like, that was apparently during the contract negotiations. And I saw that was reported on Friday, I believe. Friday is when I saw it. And honestly, yeah, I believe that Stearns is relying too much on analytics. I mean, look at the exit velocity for the Mets this year. Over 100 at times. The entire lineup. Now, normally, speaking to analytics, that would be good because then that means that there's a lot more fly balls. There's a lot more potential for there's a lot more potential for home runs, extra base hits and everything. You're hitting the ball hard. But the problem is what the analytics doesn't account for is where you hit that ball. You could have it as the you could have every single batter in your lineup hit over 100 miles per hour on the exit velocity. Sure, you can do that. But the problem, again, is that if you are not getting those balls down, if you're not getting those balls away from the fielders, then it doesn't really matter. That's what analytics doesn't account for. It doesn't account for where the ball is hit and if there are any fielders in the vicinity. Sometimes you just have to make contact with the ball. Screw exit velocity, just hit the ball. Put it where the fielders ain't, as the old saying goes. Look at the field. Where are your hitters lined up? Make the adjustments. Even if you don't hit, 70 miles per hour on the exit velocity, strike 3, sit down. If you put it where they ain't, then the fielders are not going to be able to field it well. That's just my outlook on that. But again, that goes to David Stearns trying to use analytics. Like, oh, you hit the ball hard, it'll probably go out. Not always. Mark Vientos has been doing that, and it hasn't turned into much. Up, got it back out. And yes, I have to keep doing this because this is ultimately what's going to prevent the game from freezing on me. You know what? Let's see where we're at with with Perez's mission. We need 5 more hits. And yeah, technically I could do a whole lineup full of catchers and first baseman in secondary positions and everything. I could technically do that. But I mean, I've got plenty of time. I still got 2 hours here. 5 hits, that shouldn't be a problem. Well, that was not a good way to start out. Yes. If you do it at Coors Field, yes. It should be a home run because that's how Jake McCarthy hit the grand slam that ultimately won the 3rd game for the Rockies. Yes. In theory, yes.
Ball, that's off the plate.
Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down. Ooh. Was it like, did it give you the animation of the no doubt home run? Or like the foul ball sequence? Like that. Did it give you this camera angle? But it didn't switch to the it didn't switch to the ball going, like the camera focusing on the ball, right? If it's still focused on the player while the ball was still traveling, that's the biggest indication you'll have there in terms of whether the ball is going to be fair or not. If the camera stays on the batter, that's when you know it's not going to be a home run. But if it stays on the ball, if it changes to the ball, then it's clearly going to be a home run. Well, I don't know what to tell you. The game clearly thought it was foul. So Believe me, I know that's frustrating. Hold on one second. Well, the matchup is clearly in favor of the lefty here, so... No way.
That's ball 2.
Strike 3, sit down.
Yeah. Hey.
Strike 3, sit down. Oh, what kind of instrument is he playing? Trombone. Wow, okay. I used to do band when I was in school too. Not for long, only like 3 years. Um, but most of it was spent playing the drums. I just couldn't read a music sheet. But how nice. Hey, I mean, you never know what you're good at unless you try it. I think you should just be happy that he wasn't practicing while he was there. That would have been interesting.
That's a ball.
Excuse me.
You're out.
All right, so let's see. I have a feeling that I should be going with John Franco here. So that's where I'm gonna go. Give Raleigh Fingers more time to recover his stamina if he hasn't done so already.
Nope. Ball 1. That's ball 2.
Strike 3, sit down.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
No, he's safe. Hey.
There we go. Oh, nice. Yeah, because I wasn't going to get Chandler with that steal, so I lucked out there. Strike 3, sit down.
Hey.
He was going to be safe even if that was caught. Strike 3, sit down. John Franco. Exactly. He's figuring out what things interest him, what he what new experiences he wants to try. This is the point. This is the point of their age where they should be doing that. I mean, they don't have to figure out life. I'm not saying that he needs to figure it out, but he should start exploring. Maybe he'll like playing the trombone. Maybe maybe he'll be part of a an orchestra that travels the world and performs. Yep, I have to wrestle with the fact that my niece is going to turn 2 this year. I think my sisters call that baby prison escape.
Ball. That's it. Ball. Ball. That's out.
Oh, I don't blame her. Because now someone actually has to monitor the crib. Make sure that he doesn't do anything that could potentially hurt, that could put him that that could put him in a situation where he could hurt himself. I totally understand.
No. Inside. Hey.
Strike 3, sit down. All right, best of luck. Which Diamond Quest is it? Is it the Cityscapes one? The one for Dave Parker and Michael Young? Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about.
Ahí. Ahí.
Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down. Yep, they fixed that in the latest patch. Yep. It's just too bad that I don't really need to do Diamond Quests. Other than if I wanted to just make some stubs. But I'm not worried about trying to make stubs. I'm worried about trying to get cards that I don't have. Strike 3, sit down. Sorry, Glavin. Looks like you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to get the win. Shouldn't have waited so long. I was so distracted. Ooh, excuse me. Strike 3, sit down.
Ball. That's down.
Strike 3, sit down. No, you leave for vacation on July 2nd instead of 3rd to try and beat the... Totally understand. That's why I'm taking my vacation before the 4th of July. And I actually remembered I have to book the hotels, and then I strike 3, sit down, and then I need to book the rental car. And then I need to get ready for the game, or get ready, get my stuff ready for Toronto. All right. Oh, well then there you go. Unfortunately, the hotel that I'm staying at is not free. Oh wait, I didn't mean to. Oh shoot, I meant to take out uh Rainiel Rodriguez. My bad.
Nope. Ball one.
Strike 3, sit down. Well, that's okay. You're not paying for a hotel, so you're saving money. You're saving money on that. Plus, whatever experiences you want to do while you're on vacation. Man, I was so afraid that that ball was going to be caught. I'm glad it was, or I'm glad it was. May win a game here without even so much as getting a hit. Well, now I need the hit. Excuse me. There we go. Michael Busch with the walk-off hit. Thank you, Busch. Sorry. All right. Sorry about the Mets. Teoscar, at this point, the Mets, this is what I've come to expect. I hate to say that, but it's what I've come to expect. No offense. The pitching is fine up until we get to a certain point, particularly with our lineup, and then we're screwed. You know, no offense. That's the reality of it. Oscar, how many times have the Mets faced struggling pitchers and the struggling pitchers actually pitched like aces against them? It's happened way too many times during this road trip, and even more times this last month. Michael Lorenzen, Eduardo Rodriguez. Who was the pitcher for the Rockies on that Thursday? That Thursday. Strike 3, sit down. Even not Merrill Kelly, but who was the pitcher for the Diamondbacks on Saturday? Yeah, but 2 of those games are against the Mets. He made a start at Citi Field, and he made a start. Oh, Merrill Kelly. What? I thought they faced a struggling pitcher either yesterday or Saturday. Like a pitcher with a high ERA. Ryan Nelson. Well, yeah, because once they got into extras, that's when they turned it on. But another point right there, Ryan Nelson struggling, and yet they only got 1 run off of him. And that was a home run by Mark Vientos. Yeah, that's what I figured, that it wasn't going to be counted as a hit.
That's off the plate.
Well, let's see. 55 or 51 million for Juan Soto, who the Mets can't figure out where to put him because no one's protecting him, and other teams are just not going to pitch to him. Why would they? You don't have Francisco Lindor, albeit Lindor wasn't really good when he was on the team. Bo Bichette has a negative .5 WAR. Yeah, but Alonso's not on the team anymore. Polanco is out. Semien is hot and cold. Beatty is cold right now. They need like a couple of those players. And honestly, I don't know who they trade for. They're already talking about getting rid of Freddie Peralta. Like, the reports I've seen have said that Peralta could be gone by June 1st if they don't turn it around. You would hope, but there's no one on the Mets roster who could do that. Maybe that's why it was important to keep Alonso. Yeah, I know Alonso doesn't have great power right now, or he's not performing all that well right now. I don't know who that person is, though. I can't name that person. And the problem is,
No, he's safe.
the problem is with the expanded playoffs, nobody is willing to trade away players at least this early because they don't know if they're going to be in it or not. So nobody's willing to trade. They should have, but they didn't. Instead, they went Jorge Polanco. Now, is Murakami going to keep up this level of play he's seeing right now? No, not forever. But, yeah, it would have been nice to have this at the start.
Ball that's outside.
But no, this is David Stearns trying to prove that he's smarter than everyone. All this blame goes to David Stearns. He's the one that put this roster together. He's the one that said, let's play Bo Bichette out of third, or out of position at third. Let's play Jorge Polanco out of position at first. Let's acquire Marcus Semien, who is hot and cold when it comes to hitting. And then let's also try to put Brett Beatty in right field because we don't really trust Carson Bench against lefties. Which I'm sure that in theory that might have worked, but in reality it's not good for Bench's development. And they also need to stop trying to get guys like Austin Slater or Andy Ibanez. They are disasters. All right? Just cut those guys loose and be done with it. Strike 3, sit down. The only logic I can come up with is Slater is there to hit against lefties, which is trying to play up to analytics. And Ibanez is there just so he can play all over the field. Like, somehow that's supposed to help. It may work in MLB The Show, but real life, it's far more of a challenge. All right, I think at some point I'm going to have to try and build a lineup full of guys that. Well, Matt Olson or Austin Riley are not going to happen for a couple reasons. One, the Braves are within division. In division trades hardly ever happen. Two, the Braves are really good right now, so they don't want to get rid of guys like Matt Olson or Austin Riley because they're winning, so they don't want to make any trades. So those guys are not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And besides, do the Mets really want to go up against Vientos and have them have a revenge game against them? Because I could tell you from a Mets perspective, that has never worked out for the Mets. Former players going to rival teams and end up playing like an MVP or a Cy Young winner. And the Mets get nothing. Hey, Hopin, I'm good. How are you? We're talking about what the Mets need to do to turn their season around. Personally, I'm in favor of calling it quits on this season. Just trade away Bichette, trade away if you want to trade away Vientos, trade away. I don't recommend this, but if you're serious about trading away Freddie Peralta, trade him away. You know, I'd hate to see that, but doing all right. Mookie Betts is back tonight. All right, well, hopefully he can be good. What they need to do is they need to shed payroll. That's what the Mets need to do. Shed payroll. Now, obviously, they're not going to be able to do that with Soto or Lindor, but you can do that for Bo Bichette. You could get rid of Bo. You could get rid of. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to get rid of or anyone's going to want Marcus Semien. But you guys shed payroll. Not unless you trade him to a team that the Mets have already played. Like, they could give them to the D-backs or the Rockies. Not that he would go for that, but they already faced them, so what's the point of, what, if they're competing, you might as well give it to them. No, they lost. They lost 2 out of 3 to the D-backs. No, they're not. If they were, they wouldn't have sole possession of last place right now. In the entire MLB, that's not just in the National League. I'm talking the entire MLB. This is a bad team.
Nope. Ball one. Ball.
Yeah, on paper, but in play, not the case. Attaboy, Richie. Well, no. They need to shed payroll. That's what they need to do. Because if they're going to go for a top 5 draft pick in next year's draft, then you might as well shed payroll. Strike 3, sit down. It will for the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. Assuming there is a draft next year, because we don't even know if there's going to be a season next year.
Inside. Ball two.
Strike 3, sit down. But that's why I'm saying, like, trade Bo. Trade Bo Bichette. Shed his contract off the payroll. Or try to, at least. You might have to pick up part of his contract. Like, I would say you could offer 15 to 20 million. But that's about as far as I would go. And then try to figure out how you're going to get Sean Manaea off the payroll as well, because he's just a giant waste. I mean, if you can shed his 25 million, then you'll be in a better spot. That was just ridiculous. Then the Mets could tank this year and won't even matter. They could literally say June 1st, okay, we traded Peralta, our experiment failed, we're not winning this year. But it won't matter, because you're not going to get the number 1 pick. If you're above if you're above the, what is it called? If you're above the luxury tax, you're going to lose 10 spots in the draft. what exactly what hope has the Mets given me up to this point that makes me believe that this season can be turned around? I agree with Bubbles. Mets season is over. And the Mets only caught lightning in 2024. They got lucky, but they're not going to do it twice.
That's a ball.
Well, the first thing they did in 2022 was fire Joe Girardi. That's not going to happen with Carlos Mendoza or David Stearns. Cohen has already established that. I just think 2022 was far different. And it's not going to be that way for the Mets. Believe me, I'd like to be proven wrong, but they're 10 games under 500 right now. Okay, if you say so.
Hey, two. Ball.
Strike three, sit down.
Hey.
Maybe they can get Luke Weaver and, Clay Holmes is probably going to. They could get rid of Clay Holmes, too. I mean, if they're really going to commit to shedding the payroll. And you can. You absolutely can. You can clip this, and if the Mets make the postseason, you can show this to me, and I'll be like, okay, I said this back in May that the Mets season was over,
Ball, that's it.
and it wasn't. So you were right, Hoopin, and I was wrong. Strike three, sit down. Until then, I really have no hope. If anything, Vientos is probably going to get traded, which would be nice because at least then they can commit to Brett Beatty being the full-time third baseman. That's if they get rid of Bo Bichette too, which I would be trying to do. And I'd be also trying to get rid of Clay Holmes. If I'm going to go all in on shedding payroll, Clay Holmes, Freddie Peralta, and Bo Bichette would likely be guys that I'm trading, as well as Mark Vientos. And I'd be looking for ways to get rid of Sean Manaea. I mean, we might as well eat up Weaver and Williams contracts. Just the heck with it, might as well. Oh. And then just be done with them after next year.
Hey.
Diaz has to be like, thank God I didn't come to this team. Strike 3, sit down. Well, I guess we'll see. But it's not hooping. There's already a rumor going around that the Mets are shopping Freddie Peralta. And they set and reportedly a deadline has been set for June 1st. The Mets don't turn it around, then Freddie Peralta is going to be available for trade.
Yep, that ball went out.
And if they follow through on it, that's an indication to me that the Mets have given up. There was a lot of hope that he could be the piece that the Mets were missing. And if he's not going to re-sign with the Mets, then you might as well get rid of him and get something in return. Get some prospects. That's what they did with Verlander and Scherzer. They weren't going to return to the Mets. They knew that. So they got rid of them for prospects.
We got a ground rule double. 2 bases. Ball 1.
But yeah, I agree. What was the point of us trading away Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat for Freddie Peralta if we were just going to turn Freddie Peralta around and flip him? I agree. Literally makes no sense. But I guess that's how it goes sometimes. No. There's a difference, okay? Carson Bench, this is his first full season with the Mets. He's going to be under team control for at least 5 more seasons after this. So the Mets don't need to trade him. He's a prospect of theirs that they're trying to develop. What up, J-Tag? How are you? We're talking about whether or not the Mets are going to turn around their season. I personally think that the Mets are going to ship off Freddie Peralta, and that's going to be the beginning of the end of this season. Oh, nice. See, Hoopin, even J-Tag agrees with me. No, because no one wants Juan Soto's contract. You got to get him in year 5 when he's in the 5th year, because that's when he's going to exercise. That's when he could exercise his player option to opt out. Not unless people don't want to pay that contract that the Mets offered him. $51 million is a lot of money for a guy who hits. What up, Dodger? How are you? Yes, but Ohtani can hit and pitch. And he's a 2-time reigning MVP winner. So Ohtani is worth it. Exactly. And on a winning team. He can hit and pitch. What more do you need from him? And he's about the most marketable guy out there. Yeah, and he can run. Remember his 50-50 season? Only member. Only member. Strike 3, sit down. So Juan Soto is not going anywhere. Lindor is not going anywhere. If anything, Bo, Clay Holmes, Freddie Peralta, those are the guys that maybe Luis Robert Jr., Mark Vientos. Those are the guys that are likely going to be traded. If the Mets are smart, they would cut bait on Sean Manaea too. He's been terrible. You're Judge away from Tulo. You have Jorge to sell, but you want Jorge. Jorge who? Soler, Polanco? Oh, Posada. Okay, you need Judge. Well, he's over 500,000 stubs, which you can get by selling Jorge. Well, that depends. How badly do you want Tulowitzki? Could also just try to play for Pax and hope that you pull Judge. I mean, you could probably put Sean Figgins on your bench and then just bring him in as a speed pat. I don't know. I I picked up Corbin Carroll earlier. And don't forget, last year I pulled Ohtani in a pack. Well, then if you want Troy that bad, then maybe you should sell Jorge. It's up to you. Personally, I'd rather try to earn them.
Ball.
Strike 3, sit down.
Ball. That's just out. Ball. That pitch is out. Aye. Aye.
Strike 3, sit down. Yeah, but then that kind of makes your point about going after Tulowitzki mute. And if we get a 99 overall Carlos Beltran Hall of Fame card, only one more hit. One more, and then I'm done with this program. Two golds. Oh, Nico Herner. Nice. You know what? I may be able to complete the Cubs collection now with Nico. So that was actually a good pull right there. Let's see. Yep. How much would it cost me? 540. I could get it for way cheaper. Told you I could get this for way cheaper. All right. Hopefully Corbin Martin is not. Of course he's overpriced. Okay, so I'm just waiting on Teal Bar. I get Teal Bar, then I get Ron Santo. Unless someone already outbid me. Oh, nope, there we go. Someone just got me that card, so I collect all 5 now. And bada bing, bada boom. Cubs, you are done. How was my weekend? Not too bad. Nothing crazy happened, so that's always nice whenever I don't have crazy happen. I want to see how much Judges. I mean, you could get them for less than 500K. Not by much, but you can get them for less than 500K. I can't afford it, clearly, but it's there. Obviously, you've already seen Otani. But JTAG, they've been doing this for a long time. They did it to Trout. Remember when Trout used to be so freaking expensive? Even Ketel Marte is so expensive. Look at him. 71,000 for him? There's 2. I mean, to be fair, there are more than 2. You got Jose Ramirez. There was also Ronald Acuna Jr. He was expensive for a long time. Who's the third most expensive live series? I mean, I think it might be Jose Ramirez because he's 150K. You have to spend at least to get him. But let's see what Paul Skeens is. Okay, he's cheaper. Lindor and Soto were pretty expensive for a while. Soto's 78K, Lindor 62K. So they've gone down in price. Uh, Mason Miller. Yeah, I would say that the second most or third most expensive one has to be Jose Ramirez. Unless Scooble is far more expensive. He's kind of close. I would give him the fourth most expensive. Trout's not that expensive anymore. He's like 3,000. It's such a far cry from what he used to be. Jordan is 46K. Hader 5K. Yeah, I don't have enough for championship banners yet. I will, though. Diaz and Churio. All right. Well, oh, look at that. Justin Verlander has been superfractored. See? So I don't need him in my lineup anymore. I need 4 more home runs and I can get this premier pack. All right, so who would be next? Yamamoto, Peralta, Seth Hernandez, Ranger Suarez. I'm not doing Satchel Paige because he's not part of a team, so I don't want to use him. Oh wait, actually he's Guardians. Wow. Okay, then you know what? I'll do that. That's fine with me. I didn't think he was part of a team, but apparently he is. Well, I guess you learn something new every day.
Ball, that's off the plate.
But again, this goes back to your point, SB Champ, about the game not telling you when cards like that are superfractored. No, but the game didn't tell me that Verlander was superfractored. I only saw that by looking at my lineup.
Safe, he's good.
Ooh. Rip. Rip on that. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's a ball.
Just try again. I guess that's all you could do.
He's safe.
You gotta slap the tag on him ASAP. Strike 3, sit down. Okay. All right. I guess that works for you. Strike 3, sit down. I don't know if I would have wasted my subs on that, but I mean, that is up to you. Perfectly right between the legs.
That's a ball.
Go, 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 go. Okay. All right. And there we go. That's the hit that I needed. So Salvador Perez is going to be done. Nice, Ian.
Ball.
Nice. Ian Happ doesn't really steal a lot of bases, but when he does, it's pretty quick. Well, go make him super factored. Lead him off. Give him a bunch of at bats. Give him as many as at bats as possible.
He's in there.
Just keeping an eye on him. All right, well then focus on getting those missions done, and then worry about getting Mickey super factored. Strike 3, sit down.
That's a ball. Ball 3.
Strike 3, sit down. Of course. Nope, we're subbing out Reniel for Edgar. Well, yeah, Coors Field.
Foul ball.
Oh, hold on. I want to check that. All right. Oh, all right. Yeah, fair. Yeah, you can see the spot right there. Just missed it. All right, fine. Fair call.
Yep, that ball went out. Foul.
Oh, that wasn't such a smart move. Oh, no. It worked out. Wow. Okay, I'll take it. I didn't think it would, but it worked out. And Michael Bush with another home run. All right, Richard, you can finish this out.
Hey. Foul. Ball.
Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down.
Ball. Nope, that's down.
Ugh. All right, so we're going to have Salvador Perez. Maybe we'll have the Cityscapes Deluxe Pack and the Premier Pack. We didn't get the Premier Pack, but we did get Carlos Delgado. Wait, is that repeatable? Oh, no. I never completed it. And I fell short. Oh, I fell short by 2 home runs. That's what I'm missing? 2 home runs? Frick. All right. If that's what I'm missing, that's what I'm missing. Can't do nothing about it. Nope. Miguel Andujar, who I'm going to sell for 120, 186. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I needed to collect Ron Santo. Forgot about that. Oops. But I can also collect the second half hero Carlos Delgado now. We know breakout there's going to be Corbin Burns. We're going to get him eventually. We're going to eventually get Paul Goldschmidt if I can just get Ketel Marte. So that could be my 3 right there. Or no. Well, I need Ken Singleton. But that's going to take a little longer. Excuse me. All right. Let's go back for game 2. First round. Playoffs. Oh, wait a minute. So, wait, if I need. So I need Edgar Martinez in there. Oh. Well, that just switched up my plan. All right, enjoy your dinner. Sorry, Seager. It's not like he was doing much anyway. I mean, he did 9 at bats. He had 3 hits. But I need Edgar there. Hold on. I better make sure of one thing here. Okay. Because it still had J.R. Richard at full stamina, and I was like, but all right. J.R. Richard it is for the second, for game 2. All right. Strike 3, sit down.
No, he's in there. That's a ball.
All right. Can't throw over anymore. Strike 3, sit down. Now I can throw over again.
Safe.
Strike 3, sit down.
No, that's foul.
Hey, that works fine for me. Could have let that go foul, and McGee still would have been on second. I mean, McGee probably would have scored anyway.
He made it safe.
Okay, a little close there. And honestly, I thought I was gunned, but luckily that didn't happen.
Ball. That pitch is out.
Beautiful Dozier. That'll definitely get me to that Cityscapes pack. That and J.R. Richard pitching multiple innings, too. That'll help.
He's
Nice.
on there. Safe. Ball.
Strike three, sit down.
No. Inside. Hey.
Strike three, sit down.
I'm out. Ground rule double.
Attaboy McGee. And Edgar Martinez with a ground rule double. I'd like to see the home run because that's obviously the most amount of total bases that he can get. But hey, I'll take a ground rule double. That means two more off the board right there. Ah, they rung him up.
He's safe. He beat that.
Strike three, sit down. Strike three, sit down. Alrighty. Okay, so we got the Cityscapes pack, the random deluxe pack. Don't think we got. Yeah, we didn't get any home runs in that game, so still waiting on the premier pack. Oh, two Cityscapes packs. Johnny Bench, very nice. That means I can throw him in. And Stephen Kwan as well. So two new Cityscapes guys right there. But I'm still four away from Jimmy Rollins. Should I put Sosa in there? And actually, I don't even need to worry about having another catcher because I could just keep Johnny Bench in there. But now I have another left fielder for when I superfractor Ian Happ. All right, so first let me sub out Justin Verlander and Clay Buchholz. And we had Dylan Cease here. All right, think we got that lineup set. And of course, let me sub out Raynell for Johnny Bench. We'll keep Shea in there. Why not? Again? Wow. J.R. Richard is getting a lot of starts, that's for sure. Sorry, I just heard a generator outside. Wanted to see where it was coming from.
Ball. Ball. That's a ball.
So Edgar Martinez was nothing. You know what, guys? This is probably going to be my last game of the stream because I've got 15 minutes left. Well, I would have at least gotten the Perez program done at some point. What can you do? Oh, man. Right down the middle. Too early on it. Ian Happ got a little swing happy there. Couldn't drive in any runs. Got a couple hits, but no runs. Strike 3, sit down.
Ball. Ball 2. That's a ball.
Strike 3, sit down. Strike 3, sit down. Oh, man. Hanging curveball. These guys are practically giving me pitches to drive out of the park, and I can't even do it. There we go. Thank you, Michael Young. You can only go to the well so many times before you finally get burned. Burned by what? I don't know. But they threw it way too much. They threw that hanging curveball way too much. If I get the premier pack before the stream ends, then I will open it. But if I don't, then I'll worry about it, tomorrow. Or maybe not tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be the multiplayer program. Or at least as much of the multiplayer program as I can complete. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to complete all of it. If worst comes to worst, actually, no. No, I was going to say maybe I can win the championship later tonight. And, well, actually,
That's too high.
yeah, why not? Why not? I'll let you guys know if I win when I win the championship. Because then I'll have 5 Ballin' is a Habit packs to open.
Yeah.
Strike 3, sit down. Does McGuire get no, he doesn't get an extra lead off or an extra step or anything. Just seemed like he did, but I think that's just his general, um, you know, running stance or whatever. Strike 3, sit down. He's definitely not getting an extra lead. He's not really a threat to run anyway. I mean, 43 speed, 0 steal, strike 3, sit down. No, that's gonna get caught. Unfortunately, it actually looked good off the bat, but I guess just didn't have enough under it. Squared it up, but I was very early on it. There we go. Brian Dozier with the home run. So we're going to have the premier pack. And it also means that Devin Williams is going to get the save because he's in line for it.
Oh, that's inside.
Oh, jeez.
No, he's safe.
Well, not going to screw that. Never mind.
He beat it. Safe.
I was about to say, not really going to screw that up, but they screwed it up. Now, because of that, a run scored. Does Edgar Martinez have a hit here? Does he get a hit? No, he does not. 3 at-bats, he goes 0 for 3. Uh-oh. Well, good thing I scored 5 runs. Good thing I had that 3-run homer. Come on, Devin. Really hoping to get you the save here. Get you some parallel XP.
Off the plate, ball 1.
Jeez. Devin, what are you doing?
No. Inside. That's a ball.
Strike 3, sit down. I wasn't sure if that was a strikeout or not. That's why I hesitated. I'm sorry, Devin. But you're out of energy. We got runners on. One fly ball could tie the game.
Ball 1. That's ball 2.
Strike 3, sit down. Thank you, Fingers. Didn't want to have to end it that way, but I wasn't taking the chance that Devin Williams was going to close it out with no stamina. So, sue me. There's our premiere pack, our mini seasons uniforms. So I'll open those up, get the get whatever pack it is, and then I'll call it a stream. If the game will even let me do that. Okay, there we go. So we'll do this first, because this should be easy. New threads. Okay, I could use some new threads. Cabrera, it's the same ones. Oh, well. Okay, that's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for me. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Even if it was only for a moment, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to follow me here on Twitch and or subscribe. Either one would make me a happy person. If you're watching this on YouTube, I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know when I go live, you can follow me on X at TTVNextJGGen24. It's my gamer tag that's on the left side of your screen there. So go give me a follow. I'll usually post whenever I go live. You can also turn on notifications here on Twitch. That way Twitch sends you an email every time I start a stream. So overall, I mean, this was good. I got the Salvador Perez Cornerstone program done, which is what I was expecting to do anyway. We made some good progress in the mini seasons for Cityscapes. Obviously, I'm going to finish out the championship off stream. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Tomorrow, there's going to be a new multiplayer program, so I'm going to be grinding that. So I hope to see you all tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And until then, guys, have a good night.